Brown. He already has 8 carries. He'll have 43 yards in this quarter alone. Take a look at this one. And as I mentioned, watch Brown. He gets to the hole. He sees the hole, but he knows he's got to find some daylight. And if it had been dry turf, it might have been 10 more yards tacked on, but enough. It is going to be 2nd and 5 at the 25.
Michael Collins split wide to the left. The handoff goes to Steen. He picks up close to a first down. The quick hitters by West Orange Stark are very impressive so far in this first quarter.
You got to, again, as I mentioned, give credit to the offensive line, though. They're doing a good job. Take a look at the seniors on this ball club for Rockwall. They've got 2 on the front line. That's what you got to look for to make the stop. And at this point, it's been West Orange Stark dominating the line of scrimmage.
Well, another half yard, and we'll put another penetration up on the board for West Orange Stark. The handoff goes to Brown. He's got the penetration and the first down for the Mustangs inside the 18-yard line.
The total is around 282 yards a game. Very well balanced, but they like to run. There's no denying that. They average almost 200 yards on the ground.
And I think what has really picked up this ball club from Dan Hooks' side of the field is the fact that Adrian Steen is now in there. Terrence Brown was much of the running game in the first half of the season. They got 2 guys now that can get the ball, and boy, do they complement each other great. 1st and 10 now. The handoff goes to Steen as he will pick up another big 5. They're getting 5 yards just about every time they touch the football here for West Orange Stark's offense, and you can't do anything but move the ball if you're going to get that kind of yardage on first down.
Well, another big plus about moving all the way through a state championship one season and then turning around and coming back the next season is that you have so much experience and you know certain things to do. Watch the offensive line. They're spreading out this 5-0 defense, a 5-front defense for Rockwall, so they can get some splits. Steen still having some problems, though, with that ankle.
Yeah, Steen's going to have to come out of there, and timeout charge to West Orange Stark. They were just about to the line of scrimmage, and he is really having some trouble with that ankle. Dan Hooks, you can see, very concerned about it. Before we get too far into this thing, we've got a couple of thanks to pass along for some of the people that have allowed this broadcast to take place. Chief Beatty of the Rockwall Police Department, several other guys from Rockwall, including Tony Fowler of Beta Cable Company and Paul Davis from Rockwall High, and Dan Hooks kind of wondering why he was charged a timeout with the injury situation.
I'm sure he is, but he's probably, watch Hooks, I think he's kind of leaning to one side. I was reading an interesting article this morning in the Beaumont Enterprise saying that Hooks, not only does he carry 1 lucky silver dollar, he carries 2 silver dollars. He also carries a horseshoe. Look at his pocket. It's bulging. He's got a lucky rock in there. I understand he's got some kind of a lucky bean. So these guys, I understand, though. I mean, superstition, yes, but you do it every week, and if you win, you want to do it again, and you certainly want to win again. It's going to be interesting to see what Rockwall, if they slide into a goal line defense this early, this many yards out. For the Mustangs on offense, it really presents no problem. They don't like to throw the ball, although that's what they scored on the last time they were in this part of the end zone, or this part of the field.
2nd and 6 from the 13, handoff to the first guy, and that is Jelmar Rhodes. He is popped right away. Not much doing right there. Jelmar Rhodes, a guy that has carried the ball 122 times, 485 yards, as you see Troy Miller on the sidelines. Miller, the guy that took over for Ronnie Thompson.
Not only that, they have had 3 head coaches in 6 months. It has been a very rough time in Rockwall as far as the coaching staff. But, you know, here's a team, you'd think they would have big problems, and yet they're in the state championship.
3rd and 3, very big play for West Orange Stark. May have been a little bit of motion. It is called as the Mustangs appear to have a first down. But, again, there was some movement on the right side of the line. We'll have to wait and see what the officials, if they will concur on that or not. But it was a first down for Terrence Brown.
You just can't believe from looking at the picture. There you go. You do have motion called against the offense. We have the sun out. Dan Hooks, of course, disgusted by what he's seeing there because he had his first down with a 1st and goal to go. But you can't believe the sun is shining now. 2 hours ago, torrential rains. Now keep that in mind because the field is soaking wet. I would imagine at halftime you'll see a lot of guys change shoes and a lot of guys want to put on some fresh socks and maybe some fresh jerseys. They won't worry about it now, though, because they're facing a bigger situation in a 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7 from the 15 as motion by Richard to the right. Back to pass is Lewis. Couldn't find anybody on the left side. Watch out, he's in trouble. Wide open on the right side of the field, and he will be down is Terrence Brown. You can't get up and run it. High school football, it's too bad because nobody was between Brown and the end zone, but Lewis rolling out just couldn't quite get enough on it as the Rockwall defense was about to swallow it.
Tremaine Lewis is doing what he does best, and that is roll until he finds his receiver. And that time, when he rolled, he saw nobody open, and I thought for a second he was going to throw it out of bounds, but instead he did find a receiver. He's going to bring up a 4th down situation.
A little bit of question on the field right now because Dan Hooks wanted a timeout very badly because of the wind conditions here. He wants to kick this way on the field. Time has expired in the first quarter. So whether the timeout was called in time or the quarter has expired is a little bit of question on the field. The officials are meeting to find out from the official timekeeper exactly when that timeout was called and whether it was done in time or not, because that could be a key, and it appears that the quarter has ended and the timeout did not come in time.
Well, Russell Turkle has certainly been an integral part of this team and their drive for a 2nd state championship. He has been kicking extremely well in the latter half of the season. He had some problems early, but he'll have his chance to see what he can do in a state championship game coming up. We have now played 12 minutes.
Well, we will find out, Dan, just exactly what he can do against the wind when we return. It is the end of the first quarter. We're all tied up.